Hey guys, Ryan from Recovery Tattoo. Coming back at you with another one, except for this one I'm gonna do a little bit differently. Alright? And I hope you guys dig it. If you don't, I will anyways, and I'm sure somebody will get a kick out of it. Alright, I'm gonna do my normal thing by doing some tattooing here in the background. I'll go through my equipment, what I'm using, and how I'm gonna go about that. I'll get that out of the way early for the tattoo enthusiasts. And any questions, also leave in the comments. I'll answer any and all comments. That would be awesome. That'd be cool if I started getting some comments. So, anyways, I got a little bit of free time right now, and I won't have more for another while. So I want to kick it with you guys, fill you guys in on how I'm doing, what I'm doing. Plus, I'm not sure how many. It could be one, could be two, could be three, depending on which stories I tell. But I'm going to tell a couple of, or at least I'm going to go and talk about some of the stories and things that I've done and did when I followed the festival scene for a while, like the hippie festivals. I used to go to Harvest Fest, and I used to go to all of them religiously. It didn't matter what was going on. I knew that every summer, each month through all summer, there's at least one festival. And me and my best friend at the time were just made a promise to ourselves after we went to the first one and realized like that place was heaven to us. That place changed our lives. I know it changed mine. I know it changed his too. Just being around. I'm not bragging about this. I'm not telling anybody to go and do this. This is just how it felt at the time. And part of my life. That's really it. It's really not a war story. It's not really bragging. It's not really anything. It's just, I'm going to tell you a few funny things that happened to me along the 100 or more festivals that I've been to. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, cool. I have almost everything I need. I'm going to be using Injecta Flight Nano Elite tattoo machine with the stainless steel rigid bar and the 4.0 cam wheel. I'm going to use an Ambition battery grip and start off with, I got some of them Ozer cartridges, which I've never tried before. So I got a standard 3-round liner long taper by Ozer right here. The box is really shiny and pretty and shit, but Ozer's making a name for themselves right now, so I figured I'd give them a shot. So that's what we're using for now. We'll probably maybe use a standard 3 later. We'll see how things are going. I'm just gonna try to go through this tattoo and do whatever I can while I talk. All right, and this is back. I'm talking. I was a teenager. This was young. I followed the festivals for a long time, but I was like 14 or so, or when I went to my first one, 14, 15, and like I had never been even to a concert. Forget about it, like a hippie fest. You know what I mean? Think of like a mini Woodstock. And that's exactly what it is. Exactly. All right. Let me get the last couple things I need together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so bear with me a little bit because I've been super busy. I have a lot going on. I'm okay. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Life's just a struggle like it is for everybody. That's all it is. So I'm trying to make some time to make someone's day better, even if it's just one person, even if it's just me. So, boom, I got the machine out of the way. I got everything I'm using out of the way. I'm using these, I've never used these cartridges before. So, I'm going to have to, mess around a little bit and see how they are. So don't judge anything right in the beginning, please. Oh, All right, so like I said, when I was a kid, once I hit my first festival, I fell in love. Me and my best friend at the time went to our first festival together, and like I said, I'd never even been to a concert at that point. Even now in my life, I've only been to a few concerts. After I went to my first festival, I made it my fucking life's mission to make sure that no matter what, and my best friend did the same thing, we were going to every single one, no matter the weather, no matter job schedules. Like, I'm not kidding, the stupidest shit we've done. Both of us, if we would get jobs, like little stupid jobs. Like I was selling weed and doing different things, like I was paying a McDonald's manager in drugs to put me on their payroll, so I had legal. So it showed that I had legal money coming in. This was like 20 years ago, so I can't get in trouble for any of this. I would pay the local McDonald's manager, which was an older guy. I would pay him a certain amount every week to have me on the books there as a full-time employee. So that way I had proof of legal money. And so I would get a McDonald's check every week, and I would never have to I didn't really work there. It was perfect. So that's, how I was able to live for a while before getting busted. And plus I wasn't a flashy drug dealer anyway. I spent my money on like dumb shit, more drugs, and just like going around doing dumb shit. The festivals though, like I said, the first time I ever went to one of those and felt like, I don't know, it's hard to like the whole peace, happiness, and love, like hippie thing, like that, all that shit that you hear about, like that shit doesn't exist like in the real world, really, like in life, like in general life. But there's places where that shit still exists, and you can meet these fucking most incredible people from all over the place. It became my absolute and my best friend's absolute favorite thing and place to be for many years of our life after this. And I made it my mission to bring everybody that would get in the car, especially if they'd never been. I've brought I'm not even joking, like just off the top of my head, I've probably brought maybe 75 to 100 people to their first festival. And that's not even exaggerating. I brought my mom to her first festival, and she was going without me after. Even though they get a bad rap because yes, it is a hippie field, yes, people come from all over the place, and yes, people bring their drugs. Yes, it's, somewhat allowed. Hard drugs is not okay, though. I have a gnarly story of one time when somebody was on the hill. Well, so when I say the hill from now on, that's this guy, Harry Brown, had a massive amount of property up in Stark, Maine. It's like 4-hour drive from here. And you go drive out into the middle of fucking nowhere, and then his house is up there, and you pull in and you pass his house, and then his backyard is just this massive hill, huge field, but it's all, the whole thing's on a slant, except for right in the middle, it kind of flattens out, and that's where the stage is at. But otherwise, the whole thing, you're either walking downhill or uphill. That's it. That part kind of sucked. But you forget about that shit when you get into a different state of mind. Anyways, right? So I was bringing everybody to their first festivals. I fucking loved them, right? So here's a funny story. And so during this time also, I'm trying to give you guys as much information about it so you can understand where I'm coming from. So like, that turned me into an instant hippie, but I also had a secret opiate habit, but nobody really knew about it, and it wasn't it wasn't out of control yet either. And I hid that, but that was the only thing that I hid, was the habit part. I would just do, and then I would just do opiates with people like I was partying, but realistically I had a habit. So anyways, we find this place that we think is literal heaven. We don't understand what took so long for us to find this place. Like, this place was made for us. Everybody is so, like, just understanding and loving and willing to give you their shirt off their back, and everybody's just walking around with a smile. Everybody's happy. I'm sure, I mean, there's jam band, like hippie music playing, live music all day and night. People bring like campers, motorhomes, and their families. People bring, infants, children. It all depends on, because you can make it whatever party you want. Like, yes, it's a whole field full of drug dealers at the end of the day. It's basically a drug user's paradise on top of like a hippie's paradise, because any drug you could possibly want is available. And so anyways, I would go to the festivals for the hallucinogens. I got big into acid. Big into acid. I do mushrooms too, but like, they were harder to eat because they were so gross, But acid was more intense, stronger, and just a little piece of paper or a couple little pieces of blotter paper or a couple little liquid tabs out of an eyedropper or whatever, It doesn't really taste like anything but a little bit of chemicals. And then you also trip for, 12 to 16 hours instead of getting sick on mushrooms and tripping for 4 or 5. As a kid, it made more sense. Plus, I just enjoyed acid more back then. So, there was, how many times it came up? Like, me and my friend would get these little stupid jobs, and we would try to tell our jobs ahead of time, because we know when the festivals are. You know what I mean? Like, we knew what days, like, we would try to tell these jobs, like, what days we're going to need off and whatnot. And, throughout the years, regrettably, the day would come, if they didn't give us the day off, me or my friend, at any job that we were ever at, we would just leave whenever we were ready to go to festival. If we were at work, we would just leave right in the middle of it and just quit. We would quit. I've quit jobs just to go to a fucking weekend festival. And so is my friend at the time. Fucking gnarly, right? But, like I said, I had never even been to concerts. Like, this scene was just so amazing to me. And so I was addicted. I was addicted to the festivals themselves, man. They were just so much fun. Everybody was I always met the coolest people. I waited all year long, every year, for many years, to go to those festivals. And so I'll tell you a story. One time, I was just trying to let you know about how serious we took the festival scene. Like we dove into it, and it took priority over anything in our life, no matter what, like without question. Didn't matter. Festival came before everything. So, man, I have so many gnarly things. Because it's a 4-hour drive, right? And I was already a marijuana dealer, and I would purposely go to these festivals for 3-4 days. And then what I would do is I would do my hallucinogens and party all weekend, and then stock up and spend all of my re-up money, every dime I had, on all the exotic. When I say exotic, I mean drugs that aren't in my area ever, like hallucinogens and, you know, LSD, mushrooms, Molly, ecstasy, you know, any type of anything besides the normal. I would just stock up because I would want, you know, to have it back home as well. Plus, I knew I could bring it back home and, you know, sell it for 5 times the price, and it's still worth it. So anyways, I have so many cool stories, but here's one, right? One time, I think my best friend and I were just waiting for Fest to come up, and it was like 6 or 7 days away. It was the following weekend. It was like a week away, and we just had nothing to do until then, right? And we know that people go there early. We know that the locals go early. We know a bunch of people go early to set up and, you know, whatever. So we got the bright idea one day. We say, yo, why don't we just go up to festival now? A week early. Right? We'll just go up there. We'll bring weed. And we'll just like kind of camp out and chill. And then people are going to start showing up eventually anyway with the narcotics that we want. And we'll be able to pick a prime spot. It'll be perfect, right? So, like, what a dumb idea if you think about it. Like, yo, going early's cool, but like, yo, calm down, guys. No need to go fucking 6 days early. Oh my God, yo, I'm telling you, we did it though, guys. We fucking did it. So we fucking pack up our shit and we fucking go up there. And you know what? We go up there during a total fucking blizzard. I mean, I'm sorry. It was, I'm sorry, not a blizzard. It was like a whiteout wind and rain storm. Gnarly winds, completely pouring. The 4-hour drive took us like 6. We get there, we're all excited and shit. We fucking pull in and there's literally like 2 vehicles there. We came way too early. Like none of the vendor tents were up. There was just literally a car or two of some of the locals that came to help set up the stage early. And it was completely blowing like tents down the hill and pouring when we first got there. And it was fucking kind of it sucked. It was a total bummer, right? So it's coming down. It is coming down. And me and my friend are sitting there. And we're kind of looking at each other. And me and this kid could like half speak to each other and get messages across to each other and know what each other were thinking a lot of times. I don't know, we were just able to do that. We knew each other that well. And so we're sitting down by the stage, and there's one of those little outdoor tents, like that you're gonna like a vendor tent that you're gonna sell out of. No walls, just a ceiling, right? So we're down there, kind of huddled up with the other guys, kind of trying to wait this storm out. And fucking yo, we're sitting there regretting coming down there so early, so bad. We were like, this was the absolute worst move we ever could have done. It was the worst thing we could have done. It was terrible. I mean, unless it was the wrong move. But we're there for a couple of hours, and no word of a lie, okay? Like I said, I've been to hundreds of festivals. And when you do that, you meet people that also do the same thing. And so you end up, like, you know, making friends with and only hanging out with them and seeing them at festivals, because they go to all the festivals and you guys meet up there. So this one guy, he was older than us. And we met him at several festivals prior to this. By this point, this guy that I'm talking about would camp with us every single festival, because we would get there first and get the spot. And this guy came with everything. He was the fucking man. This guy, for just a cook from Massachusetts, and then in the winter, and then in the summer, he would just follow all the festivals and sell drugs on the festival grounds, and just travel from festival to festival and make money that way. It was unbelievable. But either way, we met him at every single festival. And he camped with us. We hung out with us. But the thing is the other thing was he always had at least 5, 6, 7 different narcotics by the trash bag. So literally, we're sitting there, our tent's literally lifting off the ground, blowing away in this fucking storm. We're just thinking that this is all we have to look forward to for fucking a week, man. We fucked up. So we're sitting there shivering, didn't bring enough clothes either, whatever. All we cared about was festival. That's it. We have a running car. Okay, we got gas money and money for drugs for the weekend. Okay, we're going. Doesn't matter what it takes. And we've done a lot of crazy shit to get there, a lot of crazy shit to get home. We've taken other people's cars and had them break down. Oh my God. I have a lot of gnarly stories. All right, so we're sitting down there. The actual festival doesn't start for another like 5 or 6 days. And even the locals, the people that are there helping set up, they're like, you guys are fucking crazy. And we're like, hey, man, we love Harry, and we're here for the fucking stay. And so anyway, we're sitting there second-guessing all of our life choices because we fucked up by coming down that early. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't believe it. Grace of God, 5 or 6 days before the damn fest. This has never happened with this guy either. Our main drug connection, who always has our acid and always has like everything that we want to like do right away. Always, every single time. Here he comes down the hill in his truck. We couldn't believe it. We called him Acid Guy. That was literally what my friend and I would call him. That's what we if we were talking about him alone outside a festival or whatever, we'd be like, Acid Guy. We just call him Acid Guy. I don't even think I remember his name. We just called him Acid Guy because he always had acid and a bunch of other shit, but we just only cared about the acid, you know? And so no fucking shit. The guy, we weren't even thinking about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, out of the hundreds of festivals we went to, like, he was there for a lot of them, but there was definitely a couple that he wasn't. So it's not like we were, like, sitting there thinking about him or, like, planning on meeting him or, you know, nothing like that. We were just sitting there in this storm, hating our fucking life, knowing that we had another 6 days with nothing, having to wait. But then all of a sudden we see our boys, this guy's truck coming down, and we just freaked the fuck out. We jumped out of our seats. It was just, it changed everything. We knew exactly what was up. We knew that he was going to have something. No matter what, he was going to be holding on to several narcotics, no matter what. And so we knew that everything was about to change, right? So I won't go too hard on that right now. If you guys want me to, or later, I will. But this is what happens this day. So he shows up. We fucking rush his truck. You know, we show him where our site's at. He goes and sets up right next to our car, just like always. And so, yeah, he had like 3 jars of ecstasy pills, you know, with like hundreds of them in each jar. He had 10 pounds of mushrooms in one of those black hefty bags. He had like, I don't know, maybe like a 1/4 ounce of blow. And he had these gel tabs, which is LSD. It's acid, but instead of blotter paper or liquid, there's these little gelatin tablets, but not like a pill tablet, but like, I'm calling it a tab because that's just what they call a hit of acid. But like, they also make these gelatin like material squares that you can dip acid in and it'll hold it. And so, boom, we stuck, me and my boy. Fuck yeah, he had every single thing we wanted, every single thing. The blow too, it was unbelievable. And he didn't even normally do that, the blow. You know, that was, he just had it because he knew, he just drove from California. So the fucking gel tab, the LSD gel tabs that we just got a shitload from him were straight from California. The last time they were out of the car, they were in California. He drove straight to Harry's Field from the festival in California, which is, you know, from California to Maine. It's basically all the way across the country as far as you can go, basically. And so, point is me and my boy, obviously, we dose right away. I take 2 or 3 hits. He takes 2 or 3 right off the rip, and then we go back to chilling. And so, like I said, this is some guy's backyard, but it's a massive field on a hill. There's only one parking, you know, there's only one road in and out. But at the very bottom, it's all woods. But there's a little mini trail. If you walk it for like 15, 20 minutes or so, you end up coming out on the other side of the road, and there's a little mini store, like a little mini fucking little store there. But I swear to God, it was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type store. Because like I said, in Stark, Maine, the population, I think, is like fucking 20. I couldn't even believe there was a store at the end of the trail. Walking distance from it, this guy's backyard is unbelievable. It's one of those things, like you walk in and there's one item. There's one of every item on the shelf, that's it. And there's dust on all that too. Like, you know, it was one of them type of stores, 100%. Okay, so boom. We're sitting, so before that, we dose those tabs, and then we go back to hanging out under that tent. Because it was a fucking total storm out. And so the idea of getting food gets brought up. And if we should walk to the store. And by this point, I had never actually gone to that store. I've heard about it, but I just always bring everything I need and I don't leave that field because, you know, I'm most likely not going to be able to physically, you know, because I go there. I used to go there just to get as tripped out as possible and then bring as much of that back as I could. And so we're sitting there in that fucking storm in that tent, right, with these people that we don't know except for the one guy we do know. We've been to 30 festivals with this dude now, the one we got our drugs from. So it's a total blizzard in the 4 hours away from home in the middle of nowhere. It's been, 45, 50 miles since we even seen a fucking anything. Any type of building. So the idea of going to that store gets brought up. And I guess they got sandwiches there or whatever. They're telling me. I'm like, no fucking way. I'm starting to trip out now. And so, I'm really feeling myself. It's starting to, come on quick and hard. And I'm, thinking they're joking about there being a store within walking distance. Because we're so in the middle of nowhere. And, I was just like, there's no fucking way there's a store. Right? So, anyway, there's this, one of the other guys, the locals that was there, was this slow guy with that Down syndrome slow voice. I'm not talking any type of shit. It's just I'm trying to give you what he sounded like type guy. Great guy, but he sounded like that when he spoke, right? And we called him Wood Guy. And we called him Wood Guy because that was the one guy on the field yelling wood, wood. He would sell, but he would go out in the woods and bundle up bundles of wood and sell wood for people's campfires. Fucking great idea, right? Dude, there's no jobs up there. There's nothing up there. These festivals were this whole town's, saving grace. Seriously. So getting a sandwich at this store is sounding really good to me, but I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know exactly how far it is. They're telling me it's short. My best friend that I'm telling you about is not. So this Wood Guy says he'll walk us there. The guy who totally looks inbred, sounds inbred, and I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm really not. I'm just trying to use the words so you guys will understand the kind of guy that I'm supposed to now follow into the woods alone, trip the fuck out on acid. All I could think about was this dude was going to kidnap me and my friend and kill us. That's all I could think about. I said, it's absolutely happening. I had myself convinced. I don't know why I even still went, but in my head, I said, it's happening. I'm like, life's over. I'm like, wherever this guy is going is the last place we're ever going to be. Life's fucking over. That's what's going on in my head. And we're going further and further down the trail, and the woods are just getting thicker and thicker. My life is just looking fucking like it's about to end quicker and quicker. Oh my God, it was building up. I was tripped. All I could see was the trees vibrating. All the colors were mixing. And then not only that, the LSD was fucking with my head. I just had it stuck in my head. I'm like, why would this guy walk us out here to the store? I'm like, why would he do that? I'm like, what the fuck? That's weird. And I'm like, he's going to take us to somebody's house on the other side of this place and do some wrong turn shit. Swear to God, I was stuck on it. And I thought for sure that's what it was going to be. Okay, so I keep falling back with my friend, and I'm telling him, he doesn't think so at all. He thinks it's fucking funny. He's tripping out too. These gel tabs, man, they were strong. Man, they came straight from Cali. Not that that matters, but they were fucking fresh from Cali gel tabs. Straight from a festival out of California. Into his truck, straight to us. These things were so clean and so strong. So I'm going through the woods with my fucking friend telling him that this guy's definitely going to kidnap us. We're walking into a wrong turn situation. That's it. I'm like, there's no fucking store out here. I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's just no way. If you've been there before, if anyone listening is, driven if you've ever driven out to Harry Brown's fucking actual farm, his house, he still holds a few festivals there a year, but he used to hold a lot more. And the people that were in charge of it moved to a different town in Harmony. And so there's a bunch of festivals in Harmony right off the main road where you can see police, and it's just like not nearly as chill as Harry Brown's field. It's totally off the road. You can't see. It's just the best place, period. It's literally like heaven. I wanted to live there. Except for there's nothing going on except for during festival time. So can't actually live there, right? But so let me try to wrap this up. So I'm just starting to fucking trip more and more and more, and we're walking, and to me it's just taking for fucking ever, and I keep asking him, and then I even say something, because I'm like, yo, we've been walking, listen, I actually did say this, I'm thinking back now. I'm like, my man, to Wood Guy, I'm like, if you're gonna kidnap us, and you're just leading us off into the middle of the woods, we're already out here. Will you just tell me now? Just tell me now. There's no store here, right? You just let us out here to fucking rob us or do weird shit, right? I'm not sure that he really dug that comment or whatever, because I was like pretty intent and serious about it. But he said, no, right up here, rah, 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 and I'm like, bro, we're already so far in, you don't gotta lie. Like, if this is just a setup, just tell me. I was like fucking convinced. I thought for sure, that's it, I was getting kidnapped with my best friend, probably murdered. So, a couple of minutes go by, feels like hours. When you think you're walking to your death, or something fucking even worse. So all of a sudden, the little tiny fucking single file trail opens up, and we walk out of the woods into a field. And to my right is this fucking sketchy ass mobile home. And I'm like, that's where we're going, bro. Told you. We literally just walked out of the fucking woods into somebody's backyard. I'm like, dude, I fucking told you. Fuck. But literally 2 seconds after that, you could see the end of the field and the road, and you could see the little mini store there. And I was like, I had a life-changing moment right then. I stopped walking. I was like, there's really a fucking store here. I was 1 million% convinced that this guy was gonna pull some weird shit. That's just it. I was 100%. So when I found out that wasn't the case, I was obviously, filled with joy and very happy, and I just couldn't even believe. And everything was heightened. Like I said, I'm tripping very hard at this point. And so my happiness is almost like winning the fucking lottery. I just couldn't believe that the whole thing was true. I'm not about to get murdered. Everything's good. And yo, I go through all that, which felt like it took hours, which I think it did take at least a couple, but it seemed like it took like 5 or 6. It was fucking forever. But by the time when we finally got back, and I had like sandwich, I bought our drug dealer a sandwich. I got him something. I ended up not eating. I ended up taking one bite of my sandwich and looked down at it, and it looked like it was alive, like it was breathing. So it wasn't eating time for me. It was too late. So we laughed for like 45 minutes about how I just threw my sandwich away and like what we went through to get it. And whatever, I end up throwing the fucking thing away. We laughed till our fucking back of our heads hurt, because that's what LSD does. You laugh so hard, your cheeks and the back of your head you get like this pain. And I was just so blown away. I was literally blown away. It sounds like nothing, but when you're on LSD and you're way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere, you go from I'm getting kidnapped and probably raped, or both, to the whole thing being exactly what everybody said it was. Weird, right? Like I said earlier in the video, I never missed a festival. I went to every single one. Sometimes I've turned around when I got home and gone back to the same festival before. I was just so addicted to it. I loved it. It was just, I never felt so free, never met such cool people. It was just the best experience of my life up to that point. And so, you know, I want to keep my video shorter. Yeah, it's already 42 minutes long, and it wasn't even that serious of a story. But I definitely recommend festivals if you're not a drug addict. If you just want to go listen to some jam bands and have a good time and be around a bunch of half-naked, hairy armpit hippie girls and guys too. I definitely recommend going and see how others live and how the different kinds of people you can meet. You'll be really surprised at the vast difference in people, but then at the same time, at the end of the day, you're all at the same place, there for the same reason, enjoying the same thing. And it really is a beautiful thing at the end of the day, when you don't abuse it, which I totally did. But I also respected it, enjoyed it. You know, felt the love, gave back the love, never took advantage. Always gave the shirt off my back. Just like they would for me and have. I lost my wallet with hundreds of dollars and drugs in it rolling around in front of the stage, tripping one night. And tell me that I stood up and realized that my wallet was gone, which was a very big deal. It was the end of my weekend. And literally within 5 minutes there was 30 people with flashlights moving everybody out of the way of the stage and everything. And somebody actually found my wallet right where I was, right on the ground where I was rolling around, you know, tripping out listening to music. I was laying on the grass field. I think I was peeking, listening to like some rhythm ship or the Brew or, you know, them underground jam bands. And they saved my life. There was another time my car was stuck because, like I said, the whole thing's on uphill. So when it rains, you know, you're not getting up it. It's fucking terrible. Anyways, I have a lot of festival stories. That one was just a funny one. I figured I'd throw it out there because I'm sitting here tattooing anyway because I haven't in a couple of days, and I want to put content out when I can. But what I was going to do was just keep going. You know, I was going to just tell 2 or 3 stories. But since this one already turned into 46 minutes, I'm going to continue this tattoo and or move on to another one and just make another festival video. All right, guys. Ryan from Recovery Tattoo. Like, comment, subscribe. Can't wait to see you guys on the next one. I wish my light didn't just die, but I'll put batteries on it. But here's what I got done so far anyway. A lot of my line work was shaky. This whole thing was shaky because I didn't have what I needed when I started it, but now I do. So I'm going to try to go through and fix everything that needs to be fixed, plus start the shading. So we'll see where we're at on the next video. All right, I'm going to record it right now. I'm just going to stop this one because nobody watches videos that are this long. Even this long is now too late, 47 minutes. If you're still here, I freaking love you. Leave me a comment. I love you guys. Ryan from Recovery Tattoo. Out.